Hello and welcome to Warhammer Wednesday. I haven't quite finished building all of the Burning of Prospero box set. I've still got the 30 Mark III Power Armor Space Marines to build. So as a sort of like a little interlude, because I want to do a video on them separately and do a review of the Prospero next week, I thought I'd just give you like a review and my thoughts and feelings on the other models in the set. I mean, I'll be doing a separate video on the Tartarus pattern Terminators, which they've obviously built through Forge World, but specifically I want to look at the special characters, the Custodians and the Sisters of Silence. Now, these are the Custodian Guards. They're the Emperor's personal bodyguard, and I don't want to spoil things too much for you, but pretty much they were sent with Sisters of Silence. This is the reason why they're in the box set. They were sent with the Sisters of Silence, with Leman Russ, the Primarch of the Space Wolves, to go and deal with Magnus, who is the Primarch of the Thousand Suns. And this is what they've come up with. I think they're absolutely stunning models. They're my favourite in the whole set. And just based on these models alone, I'll definitely be picking up a second Prospero set at some point. When I first saw the pictures and things, I thought they'd be unipos. I thought they'd be sort of like characters. When in fact the only real unipose models in the set are just the two special characters. So that means that if you're an Imperial player and you've got a chapter, or you're building for a chapter, or you want an Emperor's bodyguard sort of army, I think they'll probably do a codex with them in. They're already bringing out vehicles for them. The grav tank, which is like basically a Sicaran on steroids, really. If you go and check out the rules and things that are flying around. Never mind. Right, so let's have a look at them. I put them all with helmets because I like that mysterious sort of, you don't really know what's behind the helmet kind of thing. You don't know what these guys sort of look like. I mean, these guys are massive. They're bigger than Terminators. I've got a Terminator here. Hopefully you can see that. They're just ginormous. I think what gets me is how long their legs are. I mean, this is just normal Mark IV Space Marine, but you can see sort of head and shoulders higher than him. Sort of dwarfs him, and they really do stand out, and they'll obviously stand out in the gold colour that we'll paint them. But they really do live up to my expectations. Their weapons do, all the rest of it. So as you can see, that's just a normal little Space Marine in there, and yeah, they're just going from sort of super soldiers to these sort of personal bodyguard, which I read something quite recently to say that the Custodians actually predate the Thunder Warriors. So there you go. But yeah, moving back, really like the models, and just based on these Custodians, probably pick up a set, another set. Now this guy, he's sort of like the shield captain, as it were. The only difference really is he gets weapon skills 6 and 4 attack space. So yeah, he's got this lovely storm shield, but in the Age of Darkness rules it's called a Praesidium shield. And before I look at the other models in the set, I will talk a little bit about the rules. At present there are 2 sets of rules flying about. There are these, which are the 40k rules, where those shields just count as storm shields, but you've got Guardian Spears and Sentinel Blades. You've got 4 Custodians and a Shield Captain. They've got Guardian Spears and Power Knives, and they can replace their Guardian Spears with Sentinel Blades for free, and at 10 points per model they can get a Storm Shield. Now they've got a 2+ save. It looks to me that they don't have an invulnerable save. If you're just going to have one with a Sentinel Blade, that means he's not going to get his invulnerable save, but he does have toughness 5 and 2 wounds, so that may help. and if he does have a Guardian Spear instead of a shield or a Sentinel Blade, then he can do this block thing. So once per turn in the assault phase, he can block a single attack that targets its unit. Basically, if the result is higher than the roll to hit, the attack's blocked. Any attacks that do not have a to hit roll cannot be blocked. So automatic ones, you can't really block them. That's the 40k sort of rules, where they count them as storm shields and things. Then in this month's White Dwarf, which was a good White Dwarf, but I did feel that the other two were just slightly better somehow. But it's got some really nice pieces about Dark Eldar in here, and of course the Heresy and the new models. But in your White Dwarf, you get the Age of Darkness rules, where you've now got this Presidium shield, so it gives a 4+ instead of a Storm shield. So, but you can re-roll this 4+ invulnerable if the guy's in assault, but it can't use two-handed special rule to claim the benefit of the additional close combat attack. So it's sort of a bit of a trade-off. I like re-rolling invulnerable saves. I mean, that's pretty good. But I also like 3+ invulnerable saves too. So, and the way they've split them up, they haven't done any Sisters of Silence rules in here, but they've split them up like this. You've either got the Custodian Guard, which you have them all equipped with spears, and there's 3. So in my little group here, I couldn't make that because I've only got 2 that have spears. So that's another reason why getting 2 sets probably be worthwhile for Age of Darkness, for 30k basically. And then you can have them as a Sentinel Guard squad, where you've got 3 of them, and they all have their Presidium shields and the Warblades. Now again, I couldn't do that either because I've only got 2 with blades and shields. Also, in both of these, it doesn't mention anything about this Custodes Vexilla, which basically any friendly units from armies of Imperium within 12 inches get the Fearless special rule, and also they have a +1 attack while the bearer is alive. Now that is a big thing. Each one of these guys is already getting 3 attacks, 4 if they charge, and then you've got this Auxilia, which gives them Fearless, well, anything within 12 inches Fearless, and also gives them +1 attack too. So that would mean that your Shield Captain, unless my maths is wrong, so I work out this Shield Captain would have 7 attacks. Now please put in the comments if I'm wrong, but he's got 4 normally. With the Auxilia, it is going to be 5. Then he's got his Power Knife and his Sentinel Blade, so you're giving him another melee weapon because a Guardian Spear can't be used in conjunction with the Power Knife. So that would be 6, and then 7 for charging. Now, he might only get 6, but still, 6 attacks at Strength 5, AP 3, with Initiative 5, with a 3+ Storm Shield. Fearless, I think it's pretty beefy, really. That's the 2 sort of rule sets. You've got the Age of Darkness set, and you've got the Custodian Guards. And I think book 7, is it? Are we on book 7 for Forge World? I think Forge World's book 7. I think that book 7, Prospero, will have the rules for these guys in, and Sisters of Silence anyway. And I think it's due to come out February the 4th. So there you go. Let's have a look at the other models. So we've got this guy with a Sentinel Blade, and I just really love the fact that it's got that bolt gun in there, and it can be fired as such. I love the ammo clips that are on the top and the bottom. Really pretty cool. It makes reloading a pain, especially as they don't have any ammo pouches anywhere. When I first saw the models, I thought they were really true to the source material, especially their helms and the flowing sort of red hair, and even the weapons. There's some older photos where the Sentinel Blades are there with the bolt gun in there too. And also this thing about the power packs, you might not have read anywhere or anything like that, and this might be your main source, but the power for this sort of power armour, because I'd say it's not Terminator armour, I'd say it's sort of like a really advanced form of Artificer power armour. These vents here are for the reactor or whatever that powers it. So it's got an inbuilt power system, which just shows how sort of advanced these guys really are. They don't need to have this this power pack on their back that enables the armour to move with them and regulate body temperature, because the armour does generate a lot of heat, and obviously so does the power source. But there you go, lovely detail on these for plastic miniatures. Just this is what I'd sort of expect from Forge World really. And what I've tried to do is on the sort of thigh armour there, these little bits, I've tried to replicate the pattern on there with the pattern on the pauldron too, so everything's sort of connected. Now I've got this guy just clutching his power knife there. I was toying with the idea of putting the power knives on all the models. You can do it, but Games Workshop themselves haven't really done that in a lot of the models that they've done, and I've tried doing that by putting it sort of like there, and it just didn't fit the aesthetics and things with the models, having this extra sort of big sort of power knife next to these bits of detail too. Absolutely lovely. Guardian spear there. There you go. And I've got this guy, he's just taking a swing or something. There you go. I think if I got another set, I'll probably have a couple more Guardian spears in sort of like a firing pose, running and firing the bolt gun, because in a way I've got one guy that's just stood there and this guy who's taken a swing. I'd like to have a model that represents them firing that bolt gun on there. So really sort of dynamic models, I think. And then this guy, shield is a little bit low, but there you go. And the auxiliary isn't sort of head on, but that's fine. He's sort of carrying it around and making everybody fearless and looking good at the same time. So he's just off on a little jolly run. There you go. So yeah, absolutely fantastic models, and I just felt that these guys needed their own sort of separate video, especially in lieu of my Prospero review, which I'll get out next week. Thanks ever so much for joining me today. If you have enjoyed the video, please do comment, rate and subscribe. Thank you for watching. The Emperor protects.